Holiness, Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, Laureates, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Since the Norwegian Nobel Committee announced the 2014 recipient of its Peace Prize, people of Norway have excitedly anticipated your presence with us this evening. In 1895, Dr. Alfred Nobel signed his last will and testament, giving the largest share of his fortune to setting up a series of prizes, the Nobel Prizes. As described by Nobel's will, one part was dedicated to the person who shall have done the most or the best work for fraternity between nations, for the abolition or reduction of standing armies, and for the holding and promotion of peace congresses. Therefore, we gather each year at this time to recognize the individual or group of individuals that holds closest to this value. Jorge Mario Bergoglio was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, in 1936 to Italian immigrants who were pushed out by Benito Mussolini. After high school, he attended the University of Buenos Aires, where he achieved a master's in chemistry before going into the Jesuit seminary. He then entered into the Society of Jesus, and early in his priesthood, Reverend Bergoglio earned a reputation as a doctrinal conservative. He did, though, have a visible spark for public service from the beginning of his priesthood. He would travel into impoverished areas of Buenos Aires, and later, as Archbishop, he encouraged his priests to do the same. In 2005, he was named as president of the Bishops' Conference of Argentina and served in that position until 2011, the whole time continuing to engorge the Catholic communities in Argentina with a fiery passion to return Catholic philosophy to its grassroots origin, which was public service. After Pope John Paul II's death in April of 2005, Cardinal Bergoglio was second choice to become the next pope. He did not let this sway his thinking on public service, however, and he continued to work very closely with communities in Argentina and in Italy as cardinal. When Pope Benedict XVI resigned in 2013, then Cardinal Bergoglio was selected as pope, chose the name Francis, and kindled a similar blaze for public service within the Vatican itself. In his short time as head of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis has been like a roaring fire purging an old forest, leaving the tallest pillar-like trees, but destroying the undergrowth that is built up to suffocate and suck the nutrients from the pillars of the community. He has worked to combat the former financial bureaucracy, resolve scandals within the church, strengthen interfaith relationships across the world, and, parallel with his record, strengthen the public service aspect within the Vatican. He focused himself upon his papal motto, which is miserando adque eligindo, meaning by showing compassion and by choosing, which is especially appropriate for this reformer. His Holiness has made strides to reform his institution in an attempt to better the world. His response to child sex abuse cases, Pope Francis has met individually with victims and families and fired high-ranking officials within the Vatican who were shown to have covered up specific cases. He has worked to return money to individual churches and dioceses after reviewing financial statements within the Vatican, effectively bringing the greedy aspect of the Vatican bureaucracy to ashes. Most recently, Pope Francis has promoted peace in a relationship historically strained, even considered volatile, by visiting Albania, a country where Muslims and Christians cohabitate peacefully. Speaking to Christians and Muslims alike, and convening country and religious leaders in Albania, Pope Francis spoke of the need to fight all extremist actions together on both sides, referring to the actions of the ISIS terrorist groups. This speech has resonated with people all over the world, of all religions and ethnicities, hopefully spreading like wildfire across the globe. Pope Francis a burning inferno for peace and justice, continues to work for inclusion and virtue through any means he can. From sneaking into impoverished areas of Buenos Aires as a young seminarian, to leading one of the largest religious institutions in the world, His Holiness has proven to be a direct instrument of peace in a tumultuous world. I am honored to present him to you all this evening as a recipient of the 2014 Norwegian Nobel Peace Prize.